Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at different YouTubers and celebrities and point out some traits that they seem to show that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. Please do not send any snark to our subjects. First of all, let me say very clearly once again, we are having a little messy fun. This is not a diagnosis. We're simply going to point out some traits that this YouTuber shows us that seem similar to traits that fall within NPD. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis. Well, before we start anything, I have to say a great big huge loud thank you. You guys, we just hit 10,000 subscribers in the last 10 minutes.
Congratulations and celebrations.
I think that's awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of you. This time out, we're looking at MYKA STAUFFER. You may recall MYKA and the Stauffer family from just over a year ago when they rehomed their adopted child Huxley. MYKA had a family vlogging channel revolving around parenting tips and their family. They made a great deal of money monetizing an international adoption of a young boy from China. This young man was severely autistic. The family claimed that they were unaware of his condition, and basically, after monetizing many videos with him in it, they gave him up. As you would assume, the internet exploded. The family was demonized, lost sponsors, and eventually left the internet almost entirely. The husband, James, still has a channel about cars. It is very difficult to find any clips or videos of them, but we're going to take a look at an interview that MYKA did about building a YouTube channel. I don't want to cover the adoption or the little boy. He has earned his piece. So without further ado, let's look at MYKA STAUFFER.
I could possibly relate or help him out. That's pretty much what I do.
I love that. And, almost 500,000 subscribers right now.
Yes.
What's also really impressive is how well you're making a lot of money. And even, I think, for the ratios of your influence, it's pretty impressive. And we're going to talk about some of those strategies. But let's go back to, how'd you even get into this in the first place when you were just starting?
First of all, I used to be an RN, an oncology RN, and I just wasn't liking it. I was pregnant at the time, and I was taking care of cancer patients. I just wasn't my jam. I was depressed. I was bummed out.
Registered nurse seems an odd choice of profession for someone with NPD tendencies. The sick and the dying who needed her weren't her jam, and they were depressing for her.
And I needed to find a different out, so I begged my husband, can I quit? I promise you that I will make an income, I promise, but I just want to quit. I can't do this anymore. And he looked at me and he was like, sure, don't worry about it, it's fine. So immediately after I gave birth to my baby, I started doing eBay and I started being a super seller. I made tons of money. I made about $7 grand a month selling clothes. It took a little while to get going, but I just was determined to figure it out just because I wanted to be home. So that was kind of like my starting point, and I got momentum. And then my husband's like, why don't you, we were doing YouTube videos just for fun. We uploaded maybe 3. It wasn't a real deal. And he looked at me and he said, I want you to quit.
It is hard to find clips of this family online, as they have pretty much scrubbed every platform since Huxley. The dynamic they showed online would never lead me to think she has to beg her husband to do anything. She is clearly in charge of the show.
eBay. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me? You want me to quit something that's making so much money and I could make so much more? And he's like, yeah, let's quit it. Wow. I want you to try something that I know could be a lot more lucrative. And I was just like, you're so flipping crazy. But I did it.
This story makes little sense to me. Why not sell on eBay while you build your YouTube channel? It can take some time to hit monetization.
And I'm so happy that I did. And when we started, it just started rolling into so many things, and it started taking off, and it was really awesome.
That's powerful. And, sometimes we like to say that, good can be the enemy of the great. And so sometimes you actually have to give up something good to get to that greatness, which is what you're kind of walking in now.
And I was so scared to do it because for the longest time we would make 30 cents a month. And people would look at me and say, you're crazy. Why would you give up such a beautiful career? Why would you give up your RN, like your nursing career, your eBay career? Why?
This is a complete lie. She's trying to make it look like she came from such a struggle to make her accomplishment seem larger. No one makes 30 cents a month on YouTube. It's simply not possible.
I would have people tell me literally to my face that it was a joke and a waste of my time. And then when I became successful, they were knocking on my door begging to do business with me. So
more need for validation and attention. So sponsors took the time to tell her she was a useless joke and then begged her to work together. This sounds highly unlikely.
And honestly, I definitely declined them because I was like, you didn't believe in me in the beginning. I'm not, it wasn't good vibes for me.
So powerful. And what year then did you launch that YouTube channel?
So I started about 3 years ago. I don't know the year precise. I'm not a number person. I'm a chick.
Yeah, so maybe 2015-ish, kind of.
Okay, yeah. We'll go with that.
Excellent. And so now you've been growing, and the first question would be, what have been the things that you feel have led to the growth of your views and of your subscribers? And we could talk about money and brand deals and some things in a bit.
For sure. I think the biggest reason for my growth for my channel, I was never a lucky YouTuber. I didn't just get lucky. I had a lot of tactic, I guess I would say. I'm not super successful. There's way better YouTubers out there.
She wasn't lucky like so many of us. She used her superior skills and intelligence to help her growth.
But one of the big things I did was I started studying analytics really hard. My husband is the mastermind behind SEO. He is literally an SEO god. He is the only reason we started taking off. So once he started learning a lot of really amazing tricks that I am so grateful for.
This could be giving praise where it is due, but I find that my narc only notices my accomplishments when she can use them to make herself look good. I feel like this is similar.
I started learning about researching and realizing that if you don't research, even if you put up a killer video, if nobody's searching it and YouTube doesn't like it, that's it. There is nothing more to that. But if you do your research and you do your research right, you could have a liquid gold mine and it could be insane. If I even took more time to research, I feel like I would be a lot bigger.
Wow.
But sometimes I'll do some research and I'm like, I got some good I got some niches, I got some things that are really going to work. And then you get busy, and you just start pumping content. But research is key. And a lot of people, when you say that word, they're going to be like, really? That's going to take too much time, or I don't understand what you mean.
Once again, so superior. Does she think that YouTubers do not look at their own analytics or understand what research is?
But once you truly research, you find those little niches. And how I usually go about it is I'll look at like smaller channels and what's working for them. Or I'll search a term and I will look at, hey, if it worked for a big channel, it's not going to benefit me. I need to look at, is it working for little people? Is it doing really well for somebody who... And when I mean little, maybe they have 10,000 or less subscribers. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that a lot of people, when they have millions of subscribers or 100,000 subscribers, that's just their fan base. That's not new searched eyeballs. So when I can really analyze what's performing well on somebody that doesn't have all those natural super fans, then I know this could be something to look into a little bit more.
So she thinks she is clever for stealing content or content ideas from much smaller creators. You have to have little empathy for others to steal their work.
That's a great
Which I'm
tip.
sure you've noticed that too.
100%, and that's a good segue into now monetizing. And so what are the ways that you actually make money from your YouTube channel?
The main way that I make money from my YouTube channel is actually sponsors.
This didn't age well. Once the true story of the adoption was made public, they lost pretty much all of their sponsors.
So many of my girlfriends who refuse to charge certain rates because they're afraid that brands are going to walk away.
MYKA's friends are nowhere near as savvy as she is.
Do not worry about what brands are going to think. They are not going to walk away. And if they walk away, they'll be coming back next month for another brand. I guarantee it.
So powerful. Well, I really want to hear about how collaborations grew your YouTube channel. But before we do that, do you have a favorite failure?
Pay close attention. This is an interview about YouTube as a business, remember?
And how has maybe a failure in your life set you up for future success?
So I wouldn't call it a failure, but I would call it something that was really, 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 really challenging. We recently adopted a little guy from China. Definitely not a failure.
She clearly sees this as a failure, and this is before they rehomed the child.
But when we adopted him, he had a totally different diagnosis than what we were told. We were told that he had a brain tumor, and as a cancer nurse, I was comfortable with that moving forward. And he actually had severe brain damage.
She is laying the foundation here for why it wasn't her fault that she gave up on the child. It is important to recall that she insisted on adopting a highly challenged child prior to bringing him home.
Severe autism and some severe delays that may mean that he may live with me for the rest of his life, something that we just literally were not ready for. And with that, when we adopted our son and we were going through the process, they told us that, developmentally on par, everything was really good to go. And we were comfortable with all of the information that we had been given. And one of the reasons why I love this challenge, not a failure, but challenge that I experienced, is I'm such a better mom because of it. And that challenge really challenged us. It frustrated us. It was a struggle. It was a mental struggle to get into a really happy place when you go through something that is so big. Like when you adopt a child, it's forever. And when you adopt a child and there's stuff that you didn't know, so maybe some hidden information, it's hard. It's genuinely just naturally hard. It just puts you in a spot you didn't know you were going to be in. So like the readjustment period changes your life and it makes you into a better person. And it was really cool. And I'm happy that I was faced with that because of that, I will always be a lot stronger of a person. And I like that.
She never mentions how it is about the child. It is all about how he makes her feel, how he will validate her being a better person and mother.
That's cool.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And,
absolutely.
Very powerful for our audience. You've heard the phrase, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done something differently. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
To my 20-year-old self, quit making out with all those boys and go have fun with your girlfriends. That's what I would say.
People with NPD tendencies generally only have very surface-level relationships with others. Maybe this is true for the relationship with themselves as well. This is a pretty superficial answer.
Come on now.
No, that's really what I would say.
Wisdom. No, I'm dabbing on it. Quit making out with all those boys and hang out with your girlfriends.
I think that collaborations have helped me grow substantially. And I know you hear that all the time whenever you talk to your YouTube managers or you listen to videos, they're going to say collaborate, collaborate. But it's not just about collaborating. It's, first of all, don't ever go to a huge YouTuber and you might be like, maybe you have 10,000 subscribers and you go to somebody with 100,000 subscribers. Be fair and genuine. You can go with somebody that has a little bit bigger, but you need to go to somebody who you've watched before and that has a relatable size. Don't go to somebody so big. And also,
narcs will use others to bolster their self-esteem and make them feel more powerful. While collabs are great and a great way to build your channel, I find the ones that work are genuine collabs between creators who have something in common, not just a numbers game to up your cash.
my biggest words of encouragement is don't stop. Like if you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, you're trying to do Facebook, whatever platform you're really trying to do not stop. Anything is attainable. You would have, if you told me one day you're going to have 500,000 subscribers, I would tell you, no way. You're so flipping crazy. But when I hustled and I tried really, really, really hard, and I'm not underplaying that.
Reminding us again her success is solely out of her hard work. Not the husband, who is also on the channel and does all the SEO and back end. Not the children she exploited for views. It was her hard work, and she must be acknowledged.
I hustle, and it's amazing what kind of things happen. It's really, really, really cool.
So powerful, and I just want to acknowledge you that it's inspiring to see your hard work pay off and everything you're doing, not just with brand deals and YouTube, but with family, with putting good into the world, with really making a difference and inspiring a lot of people. That brings us to the question of the day, which we're going to have you ask. Here we go.
The question of the day?
Question of the day, influencers.
Is what mascot would you be if you could be any mascot ever?
Something we haven't touched on much is the two faces of a narcissist. They tend to be very different with different people. There is the narc the victim sees, and the narc the public sees. Just look at a small clip of MYKA as she appears on her channel and compare it with who she is here.
Am I going the right way? Am I being the best mama that I can? And Huxley is my son through and through. He's my baby boy, and I am so glad that he is part of our family. I couldn't do my day without him.
I find it interesting. I think she seems more genuine in the interview. but this is who she presents herself as for her channel.
I would be a sloth.
But that's not really your personality.
I know, but they look awesome. They just get to hang out there, big old nails, just kind of just chilled out.
Chilling out.
It actually is kind of
absorbing all the information.
just hanging. I just like to hang loose, man. West Coast, let's go.
This clip is only here because I spend a good deal of time in Costa Rica and I love sloths.
What kind of mascot would you be? Tell us in the comments below.
All right, that's our quick look at MYKA STAUFFER. At one point, there was a wealth of material of them, but since most of it has been removed, this is what we had left to react to. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back on Friday with probably a Retro Amber react. Until then, be kind and hasta luego.